Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Walk and Talk. Should have been done yesterday, but I had loads of tech problems. Drove over to a new park, walked around about 3 times, 3 attempts I just had loads of techie problems, so I couldn't do it. Thought I'd leave it till today. So I'm back in where I've been the last few weeks, but in a different part. It's really muddy, so I've already got loads of mud all over my shoes and my jeans, but hey, let's I have no idea where I'm going this time. I'm gonna try and get around a lot of this mud. Anyway, today's walk and talk's about mental health, which is so important, I think, right now, especially in the hard times. Got to get under those branches that we're all having. Not just you creatives, actually, even me moving that jump to the dark side. It's tough for everyone. And I think this is probably, the third downturn in my career, and maybe some of yours, it might be the first. And we know it'll pass, and we know it's temporary, so it's always good to hang on to that. It's just lasted maybe a bit longer than we all thought. But what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to share with you some thoughts or tips on maybe managing the situation. I'm going to base this on, my experience as a creative all those years ago, and like you would have gone through those tough times, doubting myself, voices in the head, which I'm going to talk about, and also now being on the other side now, seeing it as a recruiter. Let's go up this way. So yes, that's what I'm going to do, and like I say, hopefully it will help you. Some may agree or disagree with some of the things I'm going to say, that's fine. Because also what I'm going to add in a little bit of my learnings over the last 10 or 12 years into personal development and coaching. Now, a lot of you on here will know, a lot of you won't, because now I've got more connections since I've been on the recruiting side. But in a nutshell, 10, 12 years ago, coaching come into my life and personal development. So right now I'm a qualified life coach, qualified corp and exec coach, and an NLP practitioner, neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro, obviously up here, brain, linguistic, language, not just vocal but visual as well, not just how we talk and what we say to ourselves, but obviously our body language, and programming. I don't mean the programming that we get nowadays with the government. What I'm talking about is a programming that we all undertake as children. And what I mean by that is we're brought up by our parents, we inherit their values, their beliefs to begin with in our lives. It's about our experiences, the teachers, everything else. All of that is programming. So we grow up with obviously our parents' beliefs and values, and maybe later on in years we realise it's not who we are and we change them. But right at the beginning, when 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, we're programmed simply because of the life we're leading. And it's up to us to change that, and NLP teaches you to do that. So I'm going to bring a bit of this into my conversation today. Like I say, some might disagree with it, that's fine. So let's start with, I've got 3 main points to make here today, guys. First one really is, like I say, this is all new to me here. I'm just walking around. It's a massive, massive park, like a common. Let's go up this way. So the first thing I want to talk about is to let you know you are not alone. It's really important to understand that you're not sitting there, you're not the only one struggling, you're not the only one who's having these challenges, you're not the only one who's thinking, oh my God, is this the end of my career? And I'll tell you why. It's because the last 18 months I've spoke to loads and loads of creatives, right? A lot of you guys. And I spoke to creatives all around the world, from America, Brazil, Mexico, Germany. And I'm not saying that just to impress you. The reason I'm saying it is because people from all around the world still have the same struggles. And when I talk to creatives, and they all vary from juniors right up to chief creative officers, ECDs. But once we've had a chat about the career and what they're after and where they are, I always ask them a question: how are you? How are you? How are you feeling? And you'll be surprised at the answers I get, and they're very much all the same, which is right now it's hard, it's a struggle. Even those very, very successful people still find it hard, still struggling. They're no different to you, they're no different to us. We are all in the same boat. So understanding that it's not just you, it's not just me, it's a lot of people, I think really helps. Okay? So what I would say to that, knowing there are so many people thinking like us, struggling like us, do you know what I would do? I'd reach out, I'd open up. Now, some of you might find that hard. Listen, I did, I still do. As you can tell from my posh accent, I'm from South London. We're brought up, don't cry, be a man, don't share your feelings. That's not good. You know, we were taught it was a weakness. It's not, it's a strength. You know, what we hear a lot of times, I see it on a lot on LinkedIn, and quite rightly so, a lot of groups now are formed because of, you know, the biggest cause of death, through say, in young men is committing suicide, taking their own lives, and women, and older men. And they encourage people to talk. And I would say, guys, do that as well. Reach out to maybe someone in industry that you know, if you can't do it to a friend. Maybe start your own groups, but offload it. You know, what's the old saying? Trouble shared is a trouble halved, and it's so true. Okay, I'm walking along here, I'm out in the open here, let's walk down this way. So the first thing, guys, is to share, have a chat, get it off your shoulders, right? That will really, really, really help. Okay, and I know some of you find it hard, because I do, and I still do. But open up, get it out there. Don't be afraid. Being vulnerable is a strength. It's not a weakness. It took me about 50 years to understand that. Open up, share, please. It's really important. Okay, second thing I'm going to talk about are those voices in our head. I had loads of them, still do. I manage them in a different way now. I don't know anyone who doesn't have those voices. Inner critic, a lot of people call it. Whatever you're going to call it, those voices that tell you, you're no good, give up, your career's finished, you've been rejected again, look at you, it laughs, right? And we get this all the time, and we feed it and we listen to it. That's the worst thing, we listen to it. And we think it's true. And one thing I've learned is we are who we tell ourselves we are. It's as simple as that. This is this is probably the strongest weapon in the world, is your brain, okay? And when we tell ourselves certain things and we believe it, it's horrible. So those voices in your head, and I'll be very surprised if there's anyone on there who don't have them, especially negative voices. We all like a positive voice, but guess what? Sadly, we tend to have more negative than positive. So the first thing is to be aware of that. Next time you're telling yourself you're no good, you've been rejected, give up, be aware of it, okay? Be aware of it. And what I would say, okay, one of the things I learned from coaching and doing NLP in people, because you can use it as techniques, but I learned so much about myself with NLP. But one of the things I've learned is when something's funny, it's really hard to take it serious. So I remember doing a coaching session with someone once, and they had this voice, and actually a voice of jealousy. She had a real jealous problem. So you can get rid of emotions with NLP. So I helped get rid of this emotion. But one of the first things I did was I got her to call her voice, or a jealousy voice, a really silly name. Right? And when I got to do it, she couldn't stop laughing. And then when I had a session after that, she told me, when it reared its ugly head at the weekend, I can't remember what she called it, right? She called her voice spliff. She didn't know what a spliff was. When I explained what a spliff was, she couldn't stop laughing. And of course, when that voice come up, she said, "Hey, spliff," she couldn't stop laughing, and the voice has stopped. So what I would say to you guys, give it a really silly name. Call it a Gertrude, call it anything silly, because I promise you, when you realise you've got that voice, being negative, that inner critic, and it's criticising you and telling you you're no good, let's go this way, I don't want the sun. Is the sun in my... Let's walk back this way. See, the sun's great, by the way, the weather. It's raining this morning, now very sunny. But when something's funny, we find it hard to take serious. So when you're aware of the inner voice, the inner critic, a negative voice telling you you're no good, to give up, you're never going to get a job again, it's another rejection, call it by its silly name, and the next thing, and I'm not going to swear on it, tell it to pee off, to F off. You don't need it. Now, you might be going, oh, that's easy. That's not easy, by the way, it's hard. But if you're aware of it, you can do it. You can do it, you can stop it, trust me, try it. Okay, so give it a silly name, be aware of those negative voices in your head, be aware of it, and most importantly, don't take any notice whatsoever of that voice telling you those things. Because look at yourself now, remind yourself, you're successful, you're in a fantastic industry, you're doing well, you've been successful, you won awards, you worked at great agencies. It doesn't just stop overnight. Last couple of years has been tough for everyone, even the best out there. So please don't listen to those voices. Remind yourself how good you are. And you know what I used to do? I would just read the testimonials I got, okay? You know, I had them on my website. And what I do is I just read them. And actually, if I'm honest with you, sometimes I think, wow, is that true? Is that really me they're talking about? And even I was surprised, and maybe it's because I'd had so much negativity going on at that time, I found it hard to believe that someone would say good stuff about me. But it's true, they were right. So do that as well, guys. Remind yourself how good you are. Look at those testimonials. And if you haven't got any, go and get them. And it always helps, by the way, when you're applying for jobs, because people check you out. All right, let's go through this woody bit. So do that, right? Okay, make sure. Ignore your voice. Get it, laugh at it, tell it to pee off, and remind yourself how good you are. Now my third one, third one, mate. What was my third point? Oh yeah, okay. And actually, I've just started talking about this. I'm going into a dead end now, I think. Be nice to yourself, okay? Be nice to yourself. So important. Don't be horrible. Don't let that voice take over. Be nice to yourself. Right, I tell you, a few years ago I was playing golf. Not well as usual. I was in Ireland actually. I was on Ireland with a good mate of mine, Johnny Doris. Some of you may know. And I remember I hit a bad shot again, and I found myself realising I was calling my own self all these horrible names. You know, you hit a bad shot or whatever, and you go, oh, Snowy, you so-and-so. And it was the first time I'd really been aware of it, because obviously I'd done it a lot. And suddenly I thought, wow, am I really talking to me in a way I wouldn't talk to anyone else? Yeah, I was. I was calling myself, for what? Because I hit a bad shot, a couple of bad shots. Yes, golf is frustrating, we know that. But why would I talk to myself so badly in a way that I wouldn't talk to anyone else like that? Not even someone I don't like. Now, some of you may be doing the same. And you got, you know, and when I sat down and thought, wow, why am I doing it? I suddenly said, right, I can't do that anymore. I can't do it, and I'm very aware of that now. Even when things aren't going well, if I play golf bad again, as I usually do, I make sure I don't swear at myself. I try and have a laugh at it. Okay? So again, be good to yourself, guys. It's really important in these tough times. And be aware of those voices or anything that's telling you how bad you are, or, as I just said, swearing at yourself. I mean, I would be walking up the fairway actually shouting out and swearing at myself. That's ridiculous. So be aware, guys. Make sure you treat yourself really, really well. Because we know, look, one thing we know, guys, is we have those bad days, okay? We have those bad days. You know what? I'm my own worst critic. Anyone who knows me will tell you that. I don't need anyone above me to tell when I've done it wrong or I haven't done anything very good. I used to beat myself up really bad, you know, over little things because I was striving for perfection, which doesn't exist, by the way. You know, and then I come across a quote or a line, a sentence, and I don't know who come up with it. And actually, it's a poster now that hangs in my office. And that line is, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. And I realise that you can have bad days and be fine. Don't beat yourself up over it, okay? It's okay not to be okay. So there are my 3 points really, guys, is, I don't know where I'm going, I'm getting lost coming around here, is you're not alone, and reach out to people. Okay, we all have voices in our heads. Mainly, a lot of them are negative. Be aware. Don't take any notice of them and tell them to F off. Thirdly, be nice to yourself. Give yourself a break. Yeah, start treating yourself like you treat others. Don't continue to talk to yourself in a really horrible way. It doesn't help anyone, especially in these times. There are 3 points. What I'm going to leave with you is just a couple of tips that's helped me over the years, okay? Just generally, and I think it might help now. First thing is just be grateful, gratitude for little things, not for the holiday, not for the car, not for the new job. Obviously, be grateful for that. Be grateful for little things. I used to keep a gratitude journal. I'd write 3 things down a day. It could be you could thank a friend for calling you. It could be thank you for the toothpaste I've just used to clean my teeth. It could be thank you being healthy and being able to go to a walk. If we're grateful for just little things in our life, I promise you your life will change. Sounds really weird, doesn't it, right? So don't just wait for the big thing. Be grateful. I'm grateful now that I can walk and talk to you guys. I'm grateful I'm out in this weather. I'm grateful my legs are working. I'm grateful I have a phone here. So be grateful for things like that. Anything in your life. Another thing I'm going to leave you on is it's called reframing. Again, that's something from NLP, reframing. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you're going to get these situations, daily situations come up all the time. And all of us will give it a meaning and we'll treat it in a certain way. What I'm saying is look at it in a different way and treat it in a different way. So what do I mean by that? Okay, all of us, probably most of us here, right? We get bills, right? Gas bills, electricity bills. And guess what? They're high and we all have a moan, including me. Reframe it. Be thankful for that bill. What do you mean be thankful? Well, I'll tell you why. If you've got a gas electricity bill, it means you've got heating, electricity, okay? If you've got a car bill for an MOT or service, which I've got mine coming up very soon, be grateful you've got a car. When you get your mortgage through, as high as it may be, and as much as we're going, oh no, guess what? Be grateful you've got a house. So reframe some of the things that are going on in your life. Make a big difference, guys. It really will. And you can do that across the whole board. Gratitude and reframing, I think, will help you. So look, that's it really. 17, 18 minutes is quite a long one. I think it's really important. Mental health, especially right now, what's going on, how tough it is. And guess what? Even I still struggle, guys. I have ways of dealing with it. But I get my bad days like you guys. There's days when I think, oh my God, really? You know, I changed career 18 months ago at the age of 59, 61. Well, actually, 61 yesterday, my birthday yesterday. Yeah, I know I don't look it. And I still, you know, making that change for me has been a big challenge. And I still get those days like you. And I get those voices in my head that maybe tell me, are you doing the right thing? Well, the answer is yes, it is. And I ignore those voices, but I still get them. It's just the main thing is to be aware of it and then challenge it. And actually, one way of doing it is ask for evidence. So when that negative voice in your head says, Bob, Joe, Tony, you're no good. You're not going to get a job again. You're no good. Your career's finished. You go, well, where's the evidence? You've been in it. Remind yourself, you've been in it X many years. You worked for great agencies and won awards. So there has no evidence when it tells you that. It's just this voice in here that comes out and it wants to bring us down. Don't let it. So guys, I'm going to finish off here. It's on a Thursday. Actually, the weather's okay. It was raining this morning. I hope that helps. I really do hope that helps. You know, always open if there's any messages you want to send me. If I can help anyone in any way, please send me a message. I hope this helped. Have a great rest of the week, and I will be back hopefully next Wednesday. See you then.